Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching this show from. My name is Denise Billil, and welcome to the It's All Good. Look who's here for a chat. Today I have KK as my guest, which is Karen Kessler. She's a speaker, author, and next level leader trainer. So I'll tell you a little bit more about her later, but stay tuned. I want to talk to you about am I doing this show and why is it important to me. This show is, as I said, it's called It's All Good. And the reason why it's called It's All Good is because of my cup. Yay, it's my favorite cup. And look at that, I have matching dress today. Orange is one of my favorite color. And being summer and warm here in Vancouver, beautiful Vancouver, I decided to wear a nice light summer dress for the day. And so why it's called It's All Good? What does that mean? Well, It's All Good means that it helps me live in the present. Because regardless of what happened 5 years ago, 5 weeks ago, 5 seconds ago, I can't change it because it's past. It's past. You can't change it. So whenever you keep being upset about something in the past, keep telling yourself, I can't change it. So what? It's all good. And what about the thing of the future? Well, I don't have a crystal ball to tell me about what's going to happen in my future. So, yes, I can plan, I can prepare, but getting worked out about what if this and what if that, it's no point. So, it's all good. So, this is why I call this show It's All Good. And then, why it's all good, look who's here for a chat, because I love having guests on my show that can share their expertise, their wiseness, their everything they know and share it with you, the listeners. So if you're watching this show, please comment. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so that you'll be notified whenever the show is being broadcast. Another show is being broadcast. So as I mentioned earlier, my guest today is Karen Kessler. And we're going to be talking about authentic sales without the ick. Yeah, the ick. You know that ick. If you do sales, you know that ick. Having a process that will find a win-win in every sale conversation while leaving you both feeling amazing in the thing that can change the course of your business. So without any further ado, I will welcome Karen. And here she is. Welcome, Karen. So good to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Denise. This is exciting.
So do you want me to call you Karen or KK?
Either works for me.
Yeah, she has a partner, KC, that they're both going to be coming up in August. So they work together. But today I had the pleasure just to have Karen Kessler with me to talk about her side of the business. So Karen, please tell me a little bit more about you. Tell me what you do, because the sales without the hick, it's kind of, yeah, so how? What do you do? So can you tell me a little bit more about you and how you do it?
Oh, absolutely. So I think the best way to describe it is in sort of how I live my life. I am intensely, in fact, I would say wantonly curious about how our human condition works and how to get the most out of it so that we can have a fun and flowing and amazing life. And so through all of that learning, I've applied it all into business. And the beautiful result of that is all kinds of trainings and programs and things, including the biggest one that people seem to gravitate the most to is like how to do conversational sales. I feel really good about.
Wow, that's amazing. And so how did you get to do that? Like, you just born with it, or how did that
Well,
started for you? How did you realize you were able to help others do that and do it for yourself, I'm sure.
yeah, so in 2010, go all the way back there, I was intensely curious about how an intelligent woman continues to do the same things that aren't good for her again and again and again. And that was the thing that was sort of like breaking my heart when I first stumbled into learning about, ourselves as humans and how we work and the sort of secrets that got unlocked in there. And they're only secrets because there aren't too many people that know about them. I don't know why. Everyone should know about them. But I started to get to understand myself better, and I started coaching and helping people, and I started training other people in all of that information. And then as I was doing more and more, learning more about business and learning sales and hating it and just feeling unaligned and nasty in it because, people were teaching me to do it in the old sales way and learning how to handle objections and all of that stuff. And it was just gross, right? And I
Mm.
thought I can go back into what I know about humanity and figure out how do we pull together something that's so much better. And yeah, so as this started coming together about real connection with people and real curiosity and building relationships, sales went through the roof. And I only ever sold to people that I really liked and wanted to work with.
Well, that makes a big difference in how you go forward into your business, right? Because if you're able to have only people that you like, like I'm doing a course right now actually, and the person was talking about A client, B client, and C clients. And the A client is your perfect clients, the person you want to have with you. You would almost work with them for free. They're so nice, and you're so excited to work with them. The B client is the bread bringer, right? Like you're okay. They're your clients. You would give them all that you can, and they're okay. But it's and the C client is like, go away, like you would love to be able to fire them. Why did you hire me? And all that. So having A clients, like being able to feel that you're excited when you work with a person, and you're looking forward to supporting them and work with them, makes a huge difference in an entrepreneur's life.
Oh, it really does. And it reminds me of some bit of wisdom that I got early in my entrepreneurial career that I've never forgotten. If you have to drag them in, you have to drag them around. Right? So
Hmm.
those are your C
Hmm.
clients. If you feel like you have to talk somebody into buying from you, then it's just going to be a lot of work. And if you find a really good aligned client, you can do 3 of those for the same energy as it takes to just take one C client in.
Oh, absolutely. That I can believe, because not in the coaching, but in my previous work, I had C clients, and I literally fired them. I
Yeah.
said, no, no, you can't work with me anymore. You know, it's like, hey, it was for my well-being was more important than the little money and trouble and mindset that it would bring me. It was just draining, right?
100%.
Wonderful. So did you created a system? So how do you work now to help people get out of the hick and being able to be excited and have amazing clients without having to beg?
Yeah, our members and clients spend a lot of time, and we always make sure that they get this training because it's so important that people feel so much more comfortable inside of a process, even if they're new to sales. And I did something kind of similar. Hold on. I did something kind of similar that from somebody else, and I was able to take everything else I learned and changed it quite a bit. And then I talked to her and I said, "Did I change it enough to call it mine?" She says, "Oh yeah, you really improved on the process."
Oh, nice,
And
nice.
so now it's called Quora, and it just makes such a big difference for people. And I used to teach it over 3 days, and then I found a way through e-learning to create a deep learning experience for just the part of it that will allow people to go out and start playing with it. And I've had people come in and take it and then go sell a $5,000 package.
Nice, nice. So is Cora an acronym?
Yeah. So the C stands for core desire because we want to know what someone actually wants, not what they don't not want, right? Because everyone will tell you what the pain is that they want to go away because that's why they're in a buying framework anyway.
Mm.
But helping a client get to their core desire, what they want, once you wave the magic wand and the problem's gone, what do you actually want instead? Most people have never actually spent the time to build that out. And it's such a gift just to give that to them. Then the O stands for obstacles. So once they're thinking about that core desire, I say, what's really standing in your way? And then you'll really get to the meat of what the problem is, not what they thought it was. It's often quite different. And that's where you'll use your R recommendations to help them move through that piece. And the beauty, the thing that keeps the ick out of it is that your recommendations never include your own program, but likely a mirror of it, the steps that they would need to take that you might guide them through, but they can do on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And then the action part is the A. And the beautiful part of it is the first decision that has to get made is, do I actually want to offer my program to the client? Do they
Mm-hmm.
actually qualify to work with me? Do I actually think I can help them? And when
Uh-huh.
the decision's made, then we're either, if we don't want to, we're going to give them a recommendation to work with somebody else, right? A
Yeah.
really good recommendation. Or if they're interested, we'll tell them about our program.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good acronym. And did you guys come up with that, or that was the initial program?
No, I come up with that. Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice. I love it, Quora.
Yeah.
And I don't know, totally off topic. I do that sometimes. There's a breakfast place called Quora. I don't know
Yes,
if you
we
have
have
that.
it too. Yeah.
I love going there on weekend for breakfast. But anyway, sidetrack. Uh, um, so how does Quora empower both people involved in the process?
One of the things that I love about it is a very permission-based system, right? The first part of it is getting the connection and even asking, why did you book, this sort of discovery call with me? And I let them know, like, this is how long we're going to spend. And if we get off track, I'm going to interrupt you. And they're just really talking about how it's going to work so that the boundaries are really clear for both. Always letting people know, I'm going to give you a recommendation after I've heard from you. Is that okay? And actually getting permission to do that. Um, the other person on the other side really feels like they can go in and participate in the process, and they don't feel like they're getting a hard sales pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And what's happening is when they trust you and you both lean into the process, you're co-creating something,
Yeah.
which is really good. And then you get to decide whether or not to offer. You can say, you know what, you're not a good client for me. And they get to ask whether or not they hear about your services. So
Mm-hmm.
you're providing value. They're auditioning as a client. You're auditioning, for the service you provide. And it's a nice little dance that even if it doesn't lead anywhere to a sale, you both feel good because you had it.
Yeah. Yeah. No hick.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's amazing, because this way it's a win-win situation, right?
Yes.
Like, it's where the client or potential client is winning because you give them great value, and you're winning because then you get to offer or not your service, but then you're clear whether that person, you would like to work with them or not. So that's a good, as you said, it's a interview both sides.
Oh yeah.
I like
I
that.
can, I can tell how a person goes through the process. Like, are they willing to lean into the process? Are they like, when people work with me, I need them to be willing to do their own personal discovery along the way, because I don't just tell people what to do. If I'm doing business coaching with them or if I'm doing leadership training with them, it's, this is what's, I need you to lean in and do your work. It's a do with, not a do to process.
Hmm.
So
It's
if the
not done
person,
for you, it's done with you.
right. And so if they're not willing to take that attitude on through the process, then don't come work with me, because you're not going to get the value,
Yeah.
right? Because all I can do is offer the path and guidance and feedback along the way, but I can't do it for you.
Yeah.
And that's an important thing that I watch out for. That's how I stay empowered and keep them empowered.
Yeah, I can imagine that, because if people want you to do everything, well, you can't go in a sell conversation for them. They're the one that will be providing that service, and then they're the one that needs to sell themselves in some ways, to the client, so that they are being wanted and not just forced upon, right? Force fed. It's like, you gotta hire me. You gotta.
100%.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And so, but is there some objection to the Cora process? Like, is there some time that it doesn't work, or?
Well, one of the things when people ask me about that, for instance, our small business center here in our local city asked me to teach sales, and when the first email came, there was this list of things that they wanted me to teach, including objections, and I called them and I said, so in my world, if you do it right, there are no objections. So I'm not going to teach. Can I teach my process instead? And they're like, yeah, sure. Because honestly, when objections are coming up for people, it's because they've probably already decided no, right? And so they're often just excuses that are coming up.
Yeah, yeah,
When we set it open and just say, what questions do you have? People will ask their questions, and they're legitimate questions. And we'll always be able to tell when they switch from gathering information kind of questions to buying questions,
yeah.
right? The questions switch. And the patience in this process allows the client to find their own way. Objections pop up when people feel pressured and they feel like they need more time to run their own process.
So the
And
patient is on your end, right? Like the this person that will provide the service is just to let people go to the process, don't
I
push.
have I have people come through, they ask all their questions because one of the things we teach in the course is how people run through their own internal sales process, their buying process
Sorry.
that they run through. You okay?
Yeah, just a footrest that snap.
People run through their own internal buying process, and we have to allow them to do that.
Hmm.
Right? So Quora is set up to pace them through a process that they have to run anyway. It's no different than if I need to go out and buy a new office chair. I'm going to run through my own buying process for that. And it's the same for everything I buy. The criteria is just different depending on what I'm buying. Whether it's a stick of gum or a house, it's the same buying process inside of me that might be different than yours. So
Hmm.
Quora allows someone go through that. So when I say to someone, how else were you hoping I could help you further at the beginning of the action step? And someone says, well, you do this, right? You can help me. I said, yeah, I'd love to walk you through my program. And I'll say, here's what the program is. Here's what it entails. Here's how long it is. And then I say, what questions do you have? And you would be surprised the number of people who never ask me how much it costs.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people, the cost is actually not part of their decision-making process. It only comes up in the buying questions when they start asking, like, well, do you take credit cards, or is it a payment plan, or do you need a deposit, or they're trying to figure out how to make it happen after they've already decided.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you take debit card? Can I send you an e-transfer? Can I,
Well, exactly, right? And so once you're making buying questions, and that's
then it's
great.
like it's sold. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
no
and
problem.
I've had people say, I really want to do this. I don't know how to make the money work. I said, would you like to have a short conversation about how to maybe make that happen? Sure. So it's
Mm-hmm.
never an objection. It's because they've asked for help.
Yeah. 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 Hmm. Very interesting. So how long have you been using this process?
6 years now.
Okay. And I imagine that over the last 6 years, you've tried it often enough to really perfect it and make it work, very well.
Oh, yeah, and I've learned to do it in smaller conversations and larger conversations. Sometimes it takes an hour to go through the process if I'm selling a larger program. If we're just doing something smaller, I can probably zip it up in 10 or 15 minutes,
Oh wow,
right?
wow, that's
So it sort of
interesting.
depends. Or even at a booth, at an event, right? Even that small. I've had people use it to sell shoes. Like, what were you looking for in a shoe? What do you really need it to do for you? What's kept you from getting into the right shoes for you, right? And here's what I recommend is the right thing to make sure that you get in your shoe. It needs to have these things. And they're like, okay, show me the shoe. Great. Well, it's one of these two, probably, right? So the whole thing even works just selling a product. It's just
Uh-huh.
shortened. It's just condensed. Yeah, but
Wow.
it's practice is important, and so we actually have a practice group, and people get together, and we get together virtually, and we come in and do extra training and things for people because you do need to practice. You do need to practice in order to feel comfortable in your own
Natural,
skin,
yeah, it has
authentic
to
in the.
flow. Yeah.
It's a skill set, right? So it's going to feel awkward in the beginning, and yes, practice definitely helps.
So how long do you feel like with the people you've worked with, how long does it take to master the Cora process?
Well, mastery happens over time, obviously. People are able to have success with it if they've practiced it even 3 or 4 times through with
Mm-hmm.
different people. And then often what we do, and this is the coolest thing for entrepreneurs, is we have them practice with 10 or 12 people who don't know that aren't part of the community with their own clients, but or like their own leads, their own target population, but they only do the C and the O. They go out and say to people, I'd like to do some market research. Is it okay if I interview you? And they go through the whole connection piece. They do the core desire, they do the obstacles, and then they say thank you. And they get a chance to practice that whole first part. And often what happens is they get accidental sales where someone's like, yeah, but so what is it you're doing? What's the research for? Are you creating a program for this? And they're like, yeah, would you like to get on the mailing list for when I launch it?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And so this cool thing is happening, and there's so like no pressure on someone who's already had a bad experience with sales. They can go out and play and get used to the interviewing way of it, and then stretch it out, and they'll feel comfortable converting into doing the whole process after.
Hmm. And so when you do I imagine it's with your clients, with the people that buy the program, you do practice, right?
Yeah.
So what would a practice look like? People come with you pretend like you would pretend you're the buyer and I sell my thing.
Yeah, they just show up and they answer truthfully about whatever is going on with them. So there can be a real experience that's happening there. And I have a script, like there's a one pager for the level one, so people know what the steps are and they can follow it. And we encourage them to show it to people if they're doing it over Zoom or in their coffee shop and say, we're going to do this process together so I can find out what I'm going to, and I get permission to write on it. And they just write right on the page. And it just keeps it really open. People feel like they're part of a process and they feel held in it. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. And so so what you do, if I understand well, like as your business is you're selling this program, and right, so that's, and you're living this program, and you're using your technique to sell this program, so I imagine you must have really good success.
Oh yeah, we do. We have a few programs that we sell, and everybody comes into this process because I need to know that what they're actually looking for, I can give them. If it's not an
Mhm.
outcome of my programs, then we've got so many other amazing people out in the world that we can refer them to. Yeah, but this is the only way into my program is through one of these Quora conversations.
Okay, cool. So people has to, when people start working with you, they have to do Cora, and then they can continue working with you.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And so what else can they do after they've done Cora?
So we have an amazing community, and so we teach everything from curriculum development for people that want to create an e-learning in order
Yeah.
to do lead generation in their world. We teach NLP and leadership development courses for their own person. We teach coaches. We just starting to pick that back up. We had to close it down before the quarantine, and we're just
Hmm.
starting to open that back up again. And yeah, we also have this whole community's membership that gets together on Wednesdays and practices being interdependent and collaborative and helping each other move through obstacles inside their business and sort of hang out and work together on Wednesdays. So we're an entrepreneurial community of people that just want to work together so that we can have a lot of fun and enjoy being successful.
Oh, nice, nice. And so who's your ideal client? Who would you describe as your ideal clients?
Someone who is over themselves, needing to prove that they can do it all by themselves is the first thing. They've done it all by themselves. They've got some success and now they're lonely and just like, oh, I actually want to work with other people. Right. So they've moved into that interdependent place and they want to practice their collaboration and want other brilliant minds to mastermind with and hang out with and have a deep curiosity for how it is that they tick. Like they've done personal development and they don't really need it, but they love it.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
They want to unlock their own secrets inside. And those are the type of people that we love playing with.
Oh, nice, nice. And is it mostly men, mostly female? Is there any
It's probably
gender specific?
70% women and 30% men. We're getting a lot more men who are really opening up to a really beautiful balance of masculine and feminine in their world. And so they're not just out there to win and be the best. They're actually looking to make a difference in the
Yeah.
world. And those folks fit in beautifully into our community.
And are you global? Are you just for Canadian or American or anybody around
We
the
have
world?
people from all over the place and we love it.
Good, good, good. Well, that's fantastic. And so I don't know, like it's such a precise system. So how about take, I don't know, you say you could do it in 10 minutes, you could do it in an hour. So how about taking a few minutes and try to sell me something, like to show
Oh,
how that works, like if like,
beautiful.
so people can have an example of what the Cora system looks like, maybe the C and the O, and then we'll see where that goes.
Yeah,
I'm taking you,
absolutely.
I'm taking you like by surprise here.
No, that's okay. I got that. Let me just grab a piece of paper. Tell me what's one problem in, not even a problem. What's something in your business you would love to be easier that you would love to
Making
unlock?
sales.
Beautiful.
There you
Okay.
go.
All
Making
right.
more sales. Who doesn't want more sales?
More sales. I'm going to take notes while we do that. Is that
Oh
okay?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The knees all open. Yes, last week we did human design, so I was all there with my chart on the in front of everyone. So today I'm being coach on having better sales. Here we go.
Beautiful. Awesome. Cool. I love it. So this isn't going to take very long. I'm going to ask you some pretty deep questions. Are you prepared to answer those?
I'm an open book.
All right, then let's get started. So talk to me about what having more sales in your business would do for you, not your business, for you.
Hmm. Well, what it would do for me is it would give me more, some type of freedom. I found like more freedom into not feeling, uh, because being self-employed, every time I'm thinking of taking a vacation, I'm almost feeling guilty. Well, yeah, but I'm not going to be working, so I can't. It's like double expenses, right? So that I don't want to. I want to get rid of that. So that's the major one. The major one is not feeling guilty not to work and not, you know, providing services or you understand, right?
I understand
Yeah,
completely. And I
yeah,
also want to thank you because this is the best example of something you don't want instead of something that you want that I've ever heard. Because this is what happens, right? Like, this is some of the coaching I do with folks, right? So, you want to not feel guilty about going on vacation. And for you, that means freedom.
yeah.
So, what I
More
want you
time
to,
freedom.
right. So, what I want you to do is I want you to assume that you now have the freedom. We're going to wave the magic wand and you've got the freedom. Right?
Woo!
The money's there, there's no guilt, all of that's taken care of, you've got the time. What will you have now? Now that all of that's taken care of, all the knots are gone, what has it left you with? What will you have?
I would have more quality time with friends.
There you go. Beautiful. Yeah. What
I
else?
would. I don't have a family like children or husband and all that. So it's my friends. I've had friends that say, "Oh, let's go on weekend here, or let's go a day here," and I'm like, "But like, you know." So more quality time, being able to be more spontaneous, being able to jump into an occasion to do something spontaneous or even plan for something and be excited about it as opposed to stepping backward. So that's what it will give me. It'll give me more spontaneity, more freedom,
Do
more
you notice
fun with my
instantly how
friends.
that feels different than the
Hmm.
first thing you said?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It's more open. So when you're thinking about that, what's most important to you about that? About having that quality time with friends, the travel, spontaneous, even plan that excitement. What's important to you about that?
Um, Ungluing my ass from that chair, stepping away from the workstation, and
Nice.
just being out there and living the life.
Ah,
Because I do spend a lot of time sitting here.
right. What else is important to you? So out there living the life, what
And
else is important
also,
to
I'm
you?
not, I know I look 30, but I'm not. And preparing for my retirement, like getting, myself in gear to not work as much and reducing the amount of hour worked every week and being able eventually to just have the handful of A clients that I love that I would work with until I'm 95 years old, then that's the goal. Having, a handful of A clients that love me, that I love, that we work with, and then the rest of the time is just retirement time, like enjoying my life and coaching. I can do that all around the world. So regardless of where I am, these A client, and if those are listening now, if you know what A client is, listen to the beginning earlier. And so these are your ideal perfect clients you get major good relationship with. So that's what I'm that's what it would give me, like a lot more time freedom, getting on my path towards, semi retiring and being able to just have major quality clients and have them coming regularly, right?
Nice.
Because people, as much as they love you, they don't, if you do a good job, they don't need to work with you forever. so
So true,
so
right?
there's a flow, right? Like, again,
A
wonderful
clients
new one
also give
coming in.
better referrals. A
Yeah,
clients because they'll refer other A clients.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so Denise, now let's use that one. I want you to think about only having a roster of A clients.
Yep.
And in your mind, while we're talking about that, there's either a picture or a movie forming. And I want you to tell me what that looks like. We took a snapshot in time of having that. What does that look like? Can you tell me what you see or what you hear?
I see someone that come to the call excited, looking
Nice.
forward, almost like going on a date, right? But it's being excited to meet your client, being excited to meet your coach. Hey, I'm going to learn something amazing today, and we're going to move forward in our business relationship. And what else am I going to learn today? So that's the type of feeling that I have. And when I'm so that's the client thinking, and for me thinking is like, oh, what gem are we gonna come out with today? What's a discovering we're gonna have? How can I help my clients move forward and get even better at what he or she does, right? So that's the feeling I have when I think of working with an
Wow.
A client.
I love
Really
it. And
having an amazing synergy, like for 45 minutes, an hour. Sometimes, like one time I had our call, I usually about 45 minutes, and an hour and a half later, I look at the clock. We were in the flow. We were just so concentrated in what we were talking about, what we were doing. And I said, oh my God, look at that. It's an hour and a half went by. And there was no ick feeling, oh my God, I gave him too much of my time. It was none of that. It was just like, hey, that's amazing. We had such a great session. Right.
that's amazing. So tell me what's standing in the way of you having more of those experiences.
What's standing in the way of having more of that? Um, So I'm going to stop you here because we're doing a demonstration of the core system process. So are we still in the C?
I just moved to O.
Okay. So the O stand for what?
Obstacles.
Obstacle.
What's
Okay.
standing in your way?
Okay. And the C was
Your core desire.
core desire. Okay.
What
Perfect.
you
So
actually want as opposed to what you don't not want.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We went through that. Yes. Okay. So now we're getting to O, and what? And your question was,
What's standing in the way of you having more of those A clients?
what stands in the way? Well, hmm. I guess I need to have more of those core conversation with people so that I can have better sales process, quote unquote, so that everybody is happy while we're having those conversations.
Nice.
Because
Now
the
this
more
isn't
I the more I imagine that's what I would teach my client. The more sales conversation you have and the better quality by using the core system you have, then at the end everybody's happy, right?
exactly. So
So
you
having
probably
more quality.
okay. So this probably isn't the first time you've run into needing like wanting to have more A clients. What have you done in the past to try to bridge the gap?
um what happened in the past? Well, put myself out there more,
Okay.
right? Like being more present into the world, being more um showing more values, for the people that are listening to me, so that they're like, oh, I'm curious to know how it would feel to talk with Denise, and what can I gain out of that. So having more of those, being more out there, and that's why I do these videos soon, celebrating my first anniversary, and then and just to have bringing more value to people, so doing more of that.
Nice. So you're making some progress is what I'm hearing,
Oh yeah, for
which
sure.
is which is amazing, right? So if you don't do anything about this for a year, where will you be in a year if you don't take any other action other than what you're already doing?
um I guess it will be a forced retirement.
So do you
you
think you
know
can wait a year to do something about it?
no,
Okay.
no. That's
So what
something
I'm
that, I mean, it's something that should be done constantly, and not, unless you decide that I decide that I want to do wind down and do less, then that's that. But right now, I'm not at that point. I'm not at the point of, doing less. So yeah, for sure, if I was to do less, then that wouldn't work for sure.
Okay. So what I'm hearing then is that elevating your sales conversations in a way that provides even more value and connection and allows you to really show off how what you can do for people is going to get you closer to having that quality time with friends, being more spontaneous and having a full, as many A clients as you want and get to focus on what creates that allows you to put your brilliance out into the world. Does that sound about right?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Well, may I slip into R and give you a recommendation?
Yes, absolutely. So now we did the C, we did the O, now we're going to the R. Just doing the process here.
Yeah. And I've asked permission again. I
Yes.
asked for there are at least three places where permission is asked, which is one of the things that keeps it as a co-created experience. So, as a recommendation, yeah, I recommend that you decide for yourself that there is a process and that you invite people into that. Set boundaries in the beginning and get permission to go through the process and make sure that you have this rapport going and this connection before you start. One of the other things that I always recommend to people is to have your focus on the other person versus yourself. I
Mm-hmm.
know you're not new to sales, but people who are often get wound up because they're all inside and so they can't connect with the other person.
Yeah.
Right? So if you put your intention first and foremost before you ever pick up the phone or get on Zoom or FaceTime with someone or into a coffee shop, and your intention is that you're going to find out what they actually need and you're going to hook them up with what they actually need, whether that's you or somebody else. And if you set that clear intention, that's going to come through in your behavior and your tonality and your connection. And I'll tell you, even if you end up not selling to that person, they might refer people to you anyway.
Because they
Because
would have loved the fact that they
yeah,
are listened to. They were the focus of the conversation. People love to talk about themselves, right?
exactly.
And so if you help people talk about themselves and get them to really feel like they've being seen, heard, and understood.
100%. I
Yeah.
love it.
So that's the idea of the core system, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else you were hoping I could help you with today?
I think you did a really good, wonderful demonstration of what the core system is. Tell me more about your program. Oh, that's
Oh,
an answer.
I would love to. In fact, today there's a deal.
Oh, you got a gift for our listeners.
I do. We
So
have
tell
our
me
core
about
level one.
what you could do for people that are listening and myself, because I'll take it.
Okay. So Quora level one it takes about 90 minutes to get through all the different videos, and then we welcome people into the community to practice. That's a really important part.
Oh, nice.
We've have it set up in our world. Oh, Catherine. Hey, Catherine. We have it set up in our world as part of our early in our funnel. So I only charge $27 for it. But for you and your listeners, I've created a coupon code so you can get it for free.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you
I,
so much.
I want as many people empowered as possible. This is so important. So the actual code when you get there to get it for free is Serenity.
Oh, how can you guys forget Serenity? So I'll put that in the show note and in the comment below this video. So
Beautiful.
if that's always the present at the end. You got to watch all the way through. So when you get to the end, and then you can click on the link. I'll put a link there in the code, and you can register. Well, that's amazing. And what if people want to work with you? So what can they do?
Ah, the beautiful thing about that is they can get in touch with us. There's all kinds of contact information inside of our program. So that's the
Okay,
place to
perfect.
start. And
Perfect.
then, yeah, absolutely. Get in touch with me. We'll book some time. My calendar is available. You'll book into it. We'll have a little sort of find out what it is that you're looking for. We might do a pre call, like a 10-minute call, and then book into a Quora if it's appropriate. But we're happy to see, how we can connect people, whether it's with us in our programs or some of our amazing other people out in the world.
Wow, it's amazing. It's such a great gift, and I will take you up for it. I will do the level one. I think it's the sales process without feeling hicky, and it's, as you say, have the intention, walk into the conversation with the intention of getting to know someone. right?
Yes.
And providing value to that person, because that makes such a big difference, as opposed to, oh, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make a sale today, I'm gonna
All right.
sell, I'm gonna sell, I'm gonna sell, I'm gonna sell. And then you walk in there and you're just like a dinosaur that just wants to eat the person. Right? It's just like, no, 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 no. The person is like, gotta run, where's the door?
Right? Like, people are so tired of being sold to.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they have
People want
had
to
it to
buy.
fear and
People want to
bond.
buy. They want to buy, but they don't want to be sold to. What do we do when we walk in a shop, right? Like a dress shop or whatever. You have someone following us, and how can I help you? Do you want me to bring you a size? And then it's like, I'll call you if I need help, right? But then that kind of gives the taste in your mouth that, no, I don't think I want to buy now. Like, it's just like, I'm gonna go to another shop because I feel pressure.
Yep.
But if you just say, you greet people, you say, hey, hi, my name is Denise, and I'll be here to help you if you need help. Just let me know, and then you let them go. And who they gonna call when they need help? They'll look for Denise. They're not gonna ask the lady there and say, oh, where's Denise?
Yeah.
And so it's so amazing that when people get to understand this system, and when people get to understand the process of having better sales conversation, I mean, it changed people's business, right? I'm sure you've seen it 100 times, I'm sure.
Oh, I have, right? Even people who are brand new to sales can go out with a confidence,
Yeah.
right? To
Yeah.
be able to go out and offer their services in a way that they feel really good about.
It's amazing. Thank you so much, Karen. I think it was a very amazing conversation today. I highly recommend that you contact Karen and meet Casey and KK and work with them. I think you'll see in August we'll have a little party in August with the two of them and myself. So I'll put you away for a second. I'll be right back with you. So thank you so much for listening to another amazing episode of It's All Good. Look who's here for a chat. It was such a good experience to be coached by Karen and for her to guide me through the process. As you saw, it's no mystery. If you listen to the whole video, you'll see it's fairly simple. It's just to be open, to be able to receive what the other person needs to talk about, and be open and listen and pay attention, and not be in your head, but be in their heart. So I'm next week. I have the amazing yes, Mara Cohn coming. Mara, she's amazing. I can't wait to interview her. She was leading the E-Woman Network for a year. I think she was the leader for the Vancouver branch. And now she's just actually starting Positive Intelligence, just like I did over a year ago, a year and a half ago. And she's starting into the program. So we've had that little conversation, and she also does some counseling. So we'll have great conversation with Mara next week. So until next time, be kind to one another. Oh yeah, next week is actually July 4th. So on your day off, bring your cell phone, sit on the beach, and listen to us anyway, because us Canadian, and it's Friday, we're celebrating. So we'll be here on July 4th. And if you're not here next week, well, happy 4th of July, happy Canada Day, and have a fabulous weekend. Goodbye.